Hello, I'm Dallen Malna, and today I'll be doing a review called Steam, The Fatal Five. So today I'll be reviewing 5 Steam games and giving my opinion on them. And by giving my opinion on them, I of course mean I'll be telling you what you think so you don't have to decide for yourself. I know you do that. You do too. I've seen you. The games I'll be reviewing are Limbo, Amnesia, The Dark Descent, Terraria, Deadlight, and Anodyne. And just a heads up, I'll be reviewing them in the order I played them. Mind you, I have only played the first level or equivalent of that in each of these games, but waiting for me to beat all of them could take quite a while. Especially Terraria. That game is no end.
Limbo is a game about a young boy searching to find out what happened to his sister. And also, he might be dead. I don't know, just look at this place. Does it seem very alive to you? Does it? Honestly, there's not much to the story. Just a boy looking for his lost sister. And a lot of people can relate to that. It's a 2D, puzzle-based platformer with very simplistic controls. You have your up, down, left, right, and a grab button. Heck, that's it. Even the up button is what makes you jump. They really streamlined this game. The puzzles are clever and not too difficult. Barring a few deaths caused by laggy physics, it runs smoothly. I only struggled with one puzzle, and I went online, apparently I'm just not moving fast enough. Holy mother of Odin, son! What is that thing? Yeah, atmosphere is definitely where this game shines through. And by shines through, I mean clouds you in fear and shadows so thick you'll think you'll never get out. This game seriously scared me at times, and I felt unsettled at all others. I mean, these guys really outdid themselves to make this game unnerving. The way the objects are drawn, it's difficult to tell what's a trap and what's, I don't know, grass? Even the lack of music adds to it. It truly leaves you feeling like you're lost alone in some dark woods.
Now this is one game I'm still a little on the fence about buying. It's short and sweet, simple and somewhat challenging. It's certainly eerie. At $10, it's a bit more than I'd want to pay for a game that lasts less than a day and has little replay value. But if you catch it on sale, it might be worth it. I'd have to play it a bit more before I can totally decide whether it's completely worth it or not.
Amnesia. What can I say?
This game's reputation precedes it. I had heard horror stories of the deep emotional scars this game would leave on me, and how I would be helplessly running from a dark shadow who existed only to kill me. I entered this game terrified.
What the crap? What the crap? What the crap? Have a broom! Why is that shaking? Why am I shaking?
My imagination ran wild with what horrific things would await me in the dark.
And, Oh, I'm unconscious now. And, come back here. I heard a creepy laugh, and I fell over. But it's okay, because I have a broom.
Then I finally met the beast, and was bored out of my ever-loving mind.
I have a light. Okay, ow. I don't know. What? A shadow, for goodness sakes. What am I supposed to do? Head straight. I think I'm dead. Can I outrun this thing? I don't understand what the deal is. Keep out of the water?
Yeah, I'll get to that. So the story goes that Daniel gave himself amnesia to recreate himself, but not before leaving himself a letter telling himself to kill an old man. And he doesn't say why, just that you should be ticked off at his very name. Random letter allegedly from myself telling me to murder an old guy? Seems legit. There's some kind of shadow chasing you, but it's pretty sad when this guy is scarier than your nemesis type beast. This is a kinda survival horror game. So do you shoot zombies with one hand and chainsaw them with the other? No. Do you slide from shadow to shadow, evading beasts with cunning and improvisation? No. Do you try and keep out of dirty water while battling your greatest foe, the door?
I hit myself with the door.
Yes! Look, I know this game was trying to be original, but it ends up working against itself. I mean, in other stealth games, you're encouraged and rewarded for thinking of clever ways to avoid detection. In this game, you're punished if you don't shine a spotlight on yourself every 30 seconds, telling every bad guy exactly where you are. Now, I'm not saying this game is a complete waste. The atmosphere is interesting, and mildly upsetting sometimes. The main problem is the game needs to leave more to the imagination, or build a better beast. I mean, I was terrified when I didn't know what I was up against, but when I saw that it was just the splashy beast from Dirty Water Lagoon, I was all but impressed. Now, I know it's just a demo, and maybe it gets better later on, but for me, the gameplay killed any chance of me being impressed with the atmosphere.
This was a huge disappointment personally. I don't really think it was so much a terrible game as much as it was just overhyped. I mean, I'm a veteran of horror games such as the Resident Evil series, BioShock, and Thief, so maybe I've been conditioned, but I really didn't find it scary at all. Originally, I had no intention of pursuing this game even if it was on sale, but several people have told me that Amnesia is a great game once it gets going. So I have decided that I will give it another look if it ever goes on sale.
Wait, why is my Minecraft 2D? Seriously though, although this isn't my favorite of the 5, it certainly is the one I spent the most time on. Man, this is a time waster. For full enjoyment, I'd suggest setting a playing limit, or making small goals and then stop playing, but that's not always easy. So there really isn't a plot to speak of, but I like to think you make one up in your head. It's a frontier, made to explore, to create. It's an adventure, and like all great adventures, it's best shared with a friend. There are a lot of specifics I'm going to gloss over, but if you want to play this game, the wiki is a must. Many of the much needed items are extremely confusing, sometimes downright random. You start off in a world with nothing but a sword, a hammer, and a pickaxe to your name. And that's where the trouble starts. See, you can't break anything without a pickaxe. And it's ridiculously easy to say, throw your pickaxe down a hole, get stuck in a pit, forcing you to restart. Or maybe that's just me. Not to mention, just setting your own spawn point took me over 3 hours. Jeez! I mean, that's 3 hours of mining just to make a home base. On the plus side, at the end of the trip you'll have the essentials for basic tool crafting. It's a bit much to force you to own every tool-making device just to save. And as I mentioned before, it's not super user-friendly. Because of my internet, I can't even host an online game. But that's more of a nitpick than a game breaker. Really, mining and building is fun. Even more so if it's with a friend. One thing about this game that fell a tad short was the atmosphere. I know it's taboo, but I can't help but compare it to Minecraft. That game had a definite atmosphere, both isolating and social, adventurous and cozy, scary and serene. And it pulls these off well, mostly because of the music and sound cues, but even shading comes into effect. In Minecraft, you honestly feel the changes from home to wilderness and night and day. Terraria really seems to have one feel. It's not a bad one, it just gets bland easier. But at 1/3 the price, it can certainly afford to be.
Terraria is entertaining and cheap. If you have a tech-savvy friend who can set up a private server, it's even better. I say 2 thumbs up. It is a steep learning curve, but in today's super guided gaming culture, that's a refreshing change. It's definitely worth the money, and if it's on sale, snatch it up. Next up is Deadlight. And while I technically did spend more time on Terraria than it wasn't because it was a better game. It was because for me, if you can't save yet, you're not past level 1. And I promised myself I would get past level 1 in all of these games. Why do I do this to myself? I hope you appreciate this, fans. Oh, 7 of them. Oakley, this is for you.
Oh man, this game is without a doubt the highlight of the 5. Okay, so to be honest, my computer can't handle this game, recording, and a cutscene all at once. It kind of fizzled out on me. So I missed the intro initially, but worry not, for I used the power of Wikipedia to shed light on this dark world. Because everyone knows a free-for-all editing site could never have false information on it. So as near as I could tell, there are zombies, which, like any other self-respecting horror series, refuse to actually call zombies. Anyway, our hero, Randall, is looking for his wife and kid. After dealing with an attack that cost the life of forgettable zombie food casualty number 1, he spontaneously tosses his gun to the others and proceeds to run for his life. Now let me take a second to point out that after getting to know Randall, this is not out of character. He's in a league of BA-ness reminiscent of Garrett or Snake. He's like, you see those zombies chasing after me and not you? It's still painfully obvious that you're gonna need this gun more than me. Heck, I could probably kill just as many by looking at them too hard. You kids have fun. Try not to get yourselves hurt. Anyway, the rest of the story pretty much follows him tracking down his wife and kid, who seem to be the only people he cares about getting hurt.
The whole world is dying.
Where have they taken them?
I'm dying, Wayne.
You were going to die anyway.
Boy, I gave you a gun. What more do you need? There are another group of surviving humans called the New Law that seem to cause trouble and chaos wherever they go. But such is life in a post-apocalyptic world. It's not like history has shown us that in times of crisis humans can work together for the sake of the world or anything. This game plays a lot like the classic Prince of Persia in many ways. Side-scrolling and puzzle solving. Even the physics feel very much the same. However, guns as weapons adds a whole new level of gameplay. The game controls very well for the most part. Only 1 or 2 moments making me feel like I died because of the controls. This game does what everyone tells me The Walking Dead is supposed to do. Create an engrossing world with characters I cared about in a realistic setting. Randall was cool, but believable. The zombies were appropriately stupid and vigorously tough. Honestly, it was a world I enjoyed the most. I wanted to know the backstory, the characters, the very world itself.
Deadlight is a phenomenal game that's only real weakness is its short length. Truly, this is one game I wouldn't mind replaying quite a few times. It's currently $15 on Steam, a fair price in my opinion, and if it's on sale you have no one but yourself to blame for missing out. Fair warning though, there is some language and of course, lots of gore.
I don't know. Dyna is one of those games you don't really like but can't put your finger on why. I mean, it's scored well by game reviewers, the gameplay holds up, it's quirky and original, even had me laughing at times. It was a bit stale and lifeless, it failed to draw me in. The overriding thing I remember about it was I was bored. The story here makes about as much sense as a goofy dream, which in a weird way makes sense because I'm pretty sure this is a dream. You play as Young, yeah, real original name here guys, who is summoned by, Sage, to protect something called a briar from something evil called the Darkness. Really, the story is not a shining gem of creativity. Along the way you meet other things, like a talking statue, and a girl who likes to run over you with her bike. The gameplay is the bread and butter here, and it's the one thing I actually enjoyed a lot. It's obviously influenced from old Zelda titles like A Link to the Past, so while it's not very original, it is still very entertaining. Use your broom, that's right, a broom, as a weapon, and fight through horrifying and original creatures such as bats, slime blobs, and eyeballs. Yeah. Of course you go through a maze-like dungeon and find keys to fight a boss, to get a bigger key, to go to another dungeon, to find keys to fight a boss. Okay, you know what? I like Zelda. I really do. It's like someone looked at Zelda and said, hey, it's one giant fetch quest. That's stupid. I could make one giant fetch quest too. And they made this game. You know what I've decided? That's what I don't like about it. This game doesn't feel like it's paying homage to Zelda. It feels like an insult to it. Not like a fun game poking fun at some of the oddities of it, but rather a desecration. Like some guy said, I could bullcrab a game as good as this any day.
It's not the retro-style graphics or the simplistic story, or even that it's like Zelda. In all honesty, I have the same problem with it I did with Inception. They took a lot of random elements, smashed them together, and called it deep or symbolic. Let's say for a moment that all these elements do in fact have some significance of some kind. Well, what is it? Nowhere to be found are explanations or a clever plot twist. Instead, more random things. Are you wondering why there's a girl with a bike named Wares who runs over you and then leaves without giving her name? Well, rather than explain this, why don't we throw a random cat that wants to follow you around? Who's a good kitty? Who's a good kitty? Oh, I can't kill you? Now I am bored.
This game certainly wasn't the worst of the bunch, but it was far from a great time. I got it for half off, so I don't feel really upset that I own it. And I'm sure at some point I'll even finish it. But can I really suggest it to people on the internet? Well, if it's on sale, maybe, but barring that, I wouldn't run to go buy it. I did feel good knowing that I was helping college students rather than some large corporation, so that made this game worthwhile to me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to go play A Link to the Past. Well, that's my review. Please like and subscribe. Feel free to suggest new projects for me. I really do listen to the comments, especially since I get maybe one per video on a good day. Anyway, thanks for enjoying. I'll be seeing you real soon.